If you're out there and you're watching this and you've hit it at an age where you're collecting Social Security, congratulations. Because many people, they don't make it to 62 years old, let alone even older. So you're pretty much ahead in this whole game of life. And it's a blessing, right? Even though we know that there's a burden that comes with aging. Do I have enough money to live the life that I want to in retirement? Can I even retire? How am I going to pay for these doctor visits and the medications? If my spouse dies or they're dead, who's going to take care of me when my health fails? How is my mental faculties? Are they okay? Am I going to have anything left to leave my kids, leave my grandkids for their future? So it's one of those glass half full, half empty scenarios. But again, you're still alive and you're kicking. And I always like to see the glass as being half full because like a lot of you, I lost a parent. It was my mother when she was 53. I was in my late 20s. It's pretty early. My dad, however, 79 years and going. So I take the cue from my dad, who's been able to find the joy in retirement that I can only hope for. He's retired from the railroad. He gets a special tiered Social Security pension. He has some other income generating investments. Includes a rental property, stocks, bonds, the whole deal. But that's just the finance side. He's active. He plays golf a few times a week. That's when that weather is working out for him. Does work around the house, around the rental property, vacations all the time. And I always laugh and I say Aruba is practically his second home. Yeah, he's had some serious health conditions in the last decade. But like everyone else, he has to contend with the rising cost of healthcare and medication. It's going up. The good thing is he's made a lot of good decisions. And he had fun when he was working, but a lot went into this moment for him, planning for the future, stashing it away to enjoy it in his golden years and still cover the hard cost of life. And again, I can't stress enough, I am really, really lucky that I have an impeccable role model for how to retire with joy and be content. And I talk to him often about retirement issues as I am focused on helping others like you find joy and happiness in their golden years. And we all know that takes something called money. We had a conversation a few weeks ago and the topic of the upcoming Social Security COLA, which is the cost of living adjustment, came up. So he was pretty excited to see such a massive pop in his benefits every month. So if you didn't read it yet, the Social Security beneficiaries, they'll see an 8.7% increase in their benefits. And this starts January 2023. And that's a sticky 8.7. That means it's not going anywhere. That's pretty good timing. And it's actually a really huge help for my dad and others who are on fixed incomes. And, we got massive inflation right now in food, energy, and everything. People are getting slaughtered. So how large is the cost of living adjustment for 2023? So if we compare it to all the prior years, let's see how that stacks up. So in this table here, it's from the SSA, right? The Social Security Administration. And this is right from their website. Okay. So it's pretty accurate, hopefully. I took the liberty of highlighting all the years where the COLA was 5% or greater. And you can see that since they began in 1975, and that was because of epic inflation, we've only seen a 5% or greater jump 12 times. 12 times in the last 48 years. So this year is in the top 5 of all time. So I want to dig a little deeper, right? Have a little fun with math. Let's do that. So if we take the average COLA for the entire table from 1975 to 2023, it only averages 3.7%. But most of that was in the first 8 years until 1982. And then from 84 to 21, that average increase ends up being just 2.6. Still not bad. Inflation's been tame for a lot of those years. So how did it stack up against inflation? Well, that's pretty easy. The COLA is calculated using the CPI.W. So in general, it's the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, and it measures the monthly changes in price that is paid by you as consumers. We put the W in there. That's the CPI hitting the office and the clerical workers. So these numbers should align pretty close to real inflation. So let's do the math. Here's how inflation impacted the US dollar in the last 48 years. To have that same $100 of spending power in 1975, you need to have $551.69 in 2022. That's a cumulative price change of 451.69% and an average inflation rate of 3.7. So I would say our government has gotten something right, finally. So if the goal of COLA is in place to help seniors offset that bite of inflation to their SSA benefits, then COLA is right in line with the average inflation rate over the last 48 years. So if you have not retired yet, don't worry, you haven't missed out on this big jump in pay because these COLA adjustments are permanent, meaning they're not going to claw them back in the rate of pay. Pretend you buy an I-Series bond. The rate is CPI adjusted. It's pretty high right now, but it will go right back down when the inflation falls. So that means you'll see your Social Security benefits will be higher than last year's when you're ready to collect. And if you're ready to collect. That is, if we still have Social Security in place, when you and I retire, try to collect it. For your own benefit, I want you to take a look at your SSA statement this year. I want you to compare it to the benefit amount next year. You should see the estimated benefit rise. That's assuming all your other inputs are stable. But if you're like me, you're not planning on seeing a dime from Social Security. So what are you doing to ensure you have enough income in retirement to offset this bite of inflation? My plan, dividend stocks, the Swiss Army knife in the financial toolbox. And I write about different dividend stocks every month. And I believe that these are the strongest tools in the toolbox for steady income with the upside of growing your nest egg. And I'm also going to give you my thoughts on living a good retirement like my dad does. It's joyful because it's a heck of a lot more to retirement than just investing your money. And for pennies a day, I have this dividend stock portfolio that you can get access to. You can check out my articles and research on retirement. You can click the link above. It's in the description. And I'm going to be sharing my next dividend stock ID in just a few days. That's with my subscribers only. So I hope you don't miss out. Make sure you click those links and I'll see you on the inside.